Pride has a heavy price. Most people pay it every single day without ever realizing the transaction took place. For centuries, society has operated on a faulty branding campaign. We equate aggressive pride with power, assuming it is the required posture for winning. Meekness, on the other hand, gets written off as inherent passivity or weakness. But we can evaluate our everyday interactions differently. If we strip away the moral judgments, human behavior acts as a complex economic system. The posture you take is a strict strategy, yielding very specific returns. When you deploy a pride-first strategy, you create an ego leak. You actively drain your own time, your emotional energy, and ultimately your capital, entirely to maintain a facade of dominance. If everyday behavior is a measurable strategy, then meekness provides a distinct tactical advantage that remains largely untapped. Look at this financial ledger. On the left, we tally the daily costs of the pride strategy. The balances are entirely in the red. The first major expense is interpersonal friction. When ego leads, every basic interaction, from a team meeting to a vendor call, is treated as a zero-sum battle where someone loses. Maintaining that constant defensive posture burns through an enormous amount of daily emotional bandwidth. You end the day exhausted simply from guarding your status. This friction actively damages cooperative relationships. It isolates the proud individual, pushing away the exact allies and mentors they need to succeed. That emotional drain translates into literal professional losses. We see it in blown negotiations, stalled careers, and lucrative deals that fall apart purely because someone's ego needed to be the loudest in the room. The meek strategy takes a completely different approach. Its primary function is to immediately lower this interpersonal friction. The return on lowered friction is instant. External parties suddenly want to collaborate. They freely share resources, offer unprompted advice, and actively work to help the meek individual succeed. Because interactions are smooth and mutually beneficial, the meek individual rapidly accumulates a dense network of cooperation. Pride generates a literal friction tax on all social transactions. Meekness removes the toll booth entirely. Beyond social interactions, these strategies dictate the internal mechanics of how you learn and acquire new skills. Operating with arrogance introduces a devastating flaw we can call the knowledge plateau. This tracks skill over time. Proud individuals see an early rise, but projecting dominance blocks new information, hitting a rigid ceiling. Meekness relies on mental openness. Absorbing new data and feedback creates an unblocked intake. Over time, their skills don't just add up, they compound exponentially. Arrogance secures an early, fragile peak of knowledge. Meekness guarantees the continuous compounding of ability. To see the true weight of these strategies, we project their payouts over a 10-year timeline. This side-by-side visualization shows the projected results. On the left, the proud strategy ends stuck in isolated conflict debt, capped by a permanent skill plateau. On the right, the meek strategy yields a lucrative network of cooperation, backed by relentlessly compounded skills. This projects meekness as a high-performance offensive strategy, engineered specifically to win the long game. Maintaining a pride-first strategy is a costly luxury. The strategic dividends of meekness are available to anyone willing to look at the balance.